Hello and welcome everyone, a new episode of Money Means Business. Do we have medical tourism? The answer is yes. But how to turn Egypt into a hub for medical tourism? This needs a lot of efforts and a lot of steps to be taken. It's a long journey, but we started already. And we do have a lot to speak about because we do have a lot of potentials. And this is not in one of our cities, in Siwa, for example, or in Sharm el-Sheikh, but there are a lot of hubs, a lot of cities scattered all over Egypt, which can turn the tourism map of Egypt into medical tourism intensity, if I may call it this way. And there was a very important incident or an event, which took place just a few weeks ago when Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli attended the second international exhibition and conference for Egyptian medical tourism applications. And this was an event which took place in the new administrative capital with the attendance and presence of many academic figures, media figures, consultant, you name it. Well, right after the short break, I'm going to return back with more because I do have a special guest who is going to answer all my questions regarding this important topic, so stay tuned. Welcome back. As I said in my intro, we do have a lot to speak about. And let me first welcome my dear guest live here in the studio, Dr. Islam Anan, lecturer of health policy and health economics. Thank you very much for being with us, sir.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure to be on Nile TV. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, let's start from scratch to make it easier for our viewers. And we are going to go from the general to the specific. Do we have medical tourism in Egypt?
Okay. The short answer will be yes.
Okay.
We do have medical tourism. And to detail it a bit, medical tourism, it means that expat is coming to Egypt for treatment. So, of course, we do have thousands of expats and thousands of tourists who are actually coming for medical treatment or for general wellness, better general wellness. So, for example, we do have from the Arab countries, a lot of Arab countries are actually coming here for cost-effective treatment. That's a very important thing, which is, for example, the cost of managing one case of, for example, cardiac surgery in Egypt will be 1/10 the cost in any other country. And another thing is you can as well have premium medical service and treatment, and as well as visiting Egypt, which is a lovable country for all the Arab countries as well. Another point is for the European countries as well. For the European countries, we do have as well a lot of, for example, people might not know that, British citizens coming to Egypt to be treated from hepatitis C, for example, chronic hepatitis. Because again, you will be, it's end-to-end. The tickets, the hotel accommodation, the treatment, and going to all the touristic places will cost less than half the medications only in UK. So we do have a lot of aspects. And to answer your question, we do have not only, yes, we do have medical tourism, we do have what it takes to build a good industry. And thank you for the program name. We can change healthcare into an investment. It can be a good revenue stream for a lot of foreign currency to build the healthcare, which we are always being claimed that healthcare is a consuming ministry. It's a consuming industry. No, it can be an investment industry. We can earn money. We can have a good revenue stream out of medical tourism.
Great. And because of that, I wanted to start with the general concept and go from the general to the specific, just to make sure that we are going to cover all of them. And to change Egypt into a medical tourism hub, as it was mentioned in the speech of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli when he addressed the conference, which took place, as I said, only a few weeks ago. It's very important to know the types of medical tourism, as you've kindly mentioned. And since you mentioned hepatitis C, for example, above all, our successful story to eliminate hepatitis C from Egypt and to treat other patients from the Arab and African countries. This is to make sure that it can be conveyed to other parts of the world. And this is only one of the stories we have. How this needs marketing, propaganda, or all those who were here receiving treatments are going to be our ambassadors in their countries?
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. So if we are talking about medical tourism in general, we are talking about end-to-end industry, starting from communication, PR, and marketing, then starting from actually after promoting the patient or the citizen will be coming to Egypt. So we need starting from the air ticket and accommodation, the reception in the airport even, because the plan is to have even a reception for these patients from the airport till the resort. I don't like to name it hospital, to the medical resort, and then the sightseeings, and if there is a caregiver or family, till he returns back to his country, saying that I had both. I had the treatment and I had the sightseeing, the tourism itself. And if we look at the 100 million lives, 100 million صحة, which is the presidential initiative and mentioned by the Prime Minister, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, in the conference, it is very important, as you mentioned, because we actually screened 50 million Egyptians. It's a huge figure. It's a Guinness record figure, by the way. And no other country screened that number, and hence the WHO delivered to Egypt the golden standard for eradicating, which is the first step to eradicate virus C by 2030. And this gives a very good message because Egypt was the first country to receive the golden standard. So in terms of marketing, it's actually, we treated as many patients from hepatitis C as all the patients of hepatitis C worldwide combined in all countries. So we do have the experience, the knowledge, and we do have a very important thing, the cost-effective treatment. Because we locally manufacture all the medications for hepatitis C in Egypt.
Generic.
So, the generic and even the brand, it's actually manufactured here now. Yes. So we do have both. So saying that, we do have the cost of treatments, which is 1/40.
Oh.
The treatment in Europe. It's not 1/10 or 20, 1/40. So we have it in a very, I don't like cheap, but cost-effective price. And for any citizen in Europe, for any citizen suffering from chronic hepatitis, especially that most, for example, Medicare and Medicaid in the US, and most of the insurance companies, they don't cover hepatitis C fully. And they can be on a waiting list for 1 year or 2 years to receive treatment. In Egypt, we are proud that we don't have waiting lists, for example.
No more.
No more. Because again of the presidential initiative to eliminate waiting lists, we currently don't have except like 1 week, 2 weeks for any
Whether
patients
for
to
those
receive.
waiting for treatment or, by the way, or
Surgery.
those for waiting for surgery for
Yes.
liver transplantation.
Either for liver transplantation
yeah.
and even for cardiosurgery, even for mastectomy, which is breastectomy, for breast cancer. So all of these interventions, we are talking about 11 surgical interventions, are included in the waiting list presidential initiative. So having said that, it's very important that we do provide the treatment, we do provide a short TAT. A TAT in medical tourism, it means turnaround time, which is a time from the medical tourist or the patient arriving to Egypt till he receives the treatment and actually finishes the management of his disease. So the TAT, the turnaround time, is very important, and it's very actually short in Egypt relatively to all the Arab countries around us even, and to the European countries, of course. Just to mention, to give the audience an overview, the waiting time in UK is 2 million. So currently 2 million British citizens on the waiting list, and they wait from 6 months to 1 year to receive their surgical operations.
Sir, I'm asking this question because many would think when we are talking about medical tourism that we're talking about the sands in Siwa, the sulfur springs in Helwan, the very dry weather all over Egypt, and that's it. But still, the case now is totally different when we know that, for example, Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli spoke about الصف in الجيزة as one of the cities or one of the places, one of the centers which are going, inshallah, to gain international fame. And with also Dr. Muhammad Awad Tajuddin, Presidential Advisor for Health Affairs, when he said about South Sinai as one also of the centers which is going to attract, inshallah, millions of visitors or guests or tourists from all over the world to enjoy their treatment here. How do you see this, and how this is going to change this medical tourism map in Egypt?
So we started with the biggest milestone, which is a selection. And the selection is not easy. You need to select cities where you can combine the ease of finding the medical service, and it's a dry place, so it's good for health and wellness, and it's very near to the sightseeing. So you can actually give two positive experiences to the guests. The medical management, the ease of it, and the good sightseeing and the good environment. Because we didn't mention, for example, we do have a good climate compared to the other countries.
Sure.
So selecting Saf, for example, selecting Sinai and south of Sinai, it's very important because there's currently the new health insurance system covering, for example, Sinai. So we do have the new system there. And as we were mentioning, and it's an investment, as we were saying, we need to look at it as an investment. We need to look at it as if it's a private business. So it's for-profit organization currently. And this is a beauty about the new law of the new health insurance system, that they can work for profit, is to build the infrastructure. So selection, it comes after selection, having a good medical infrastructure. And by medical infrastructure, we define it from healthcare perspective and from health policy, is to have a good IT, for example, to
Sure.
have good database, then to have good staff, have qualified medical
This is
professionals.
it. This was what you're saying was part of my coming question regarding two things. Can we consider medical tourism as now one of, let's say, the relatively new fields of investment? And if yes, who should be the startups here?
Yeah.
The new entrepreneurs, those who are qualified enough to make sure that when they invade this market, they are going to achieve success or to be a win-win situation.
That's very good. So if we are looking at it, yes, it's a good revenue stream. It's a good return on investment. It was not structured. What we are currently seeking is to have it structured, in my opinion. To have a structured revenue stream from medical tourism with a good forecasting plan, and every year we do have a target and we are trying to achieve. The best body or the best institute or authority to lead it, from my perspective, is the Egyptian Health Authority, which is the designated authority for the universal health insurance, the new health insurance. Because as per the law and as the conference we were saying, we're seeing, all the EHA or the Egyptian Health Authority for Healthcare, they are leading the medical tourism because the law permits opening even or establishing an LLC, a private entities, to lead the medical tourism. They do have the access, they do have the current reach to the patients, and they do have the experience. So the new health insurance was built on what we call the patient experience, how the patient will actually get the service. There are good access of medical supplies, and then there's a good reach from the patients to the medical access interventions. So having completing the integrated patient journey, they are capable of doing that. However, we must open the door, in my opinion, for the public-private partnership. We need to have a good private partnership with private entities. And again, that's exactly what the EHA is doing as well, the Egyptian Health Authority, is to open the gate for the private hospitals. And if we do have experts in the medical tourism to open resorts, to make the end-to-end experience from the airport till the airport, the whole experience, we need to make what we call medical technology transfer. We need to transfer the experience from countries like, for example, Thailand. Thailand are very experts in medical tourism, from Turkey, for example. So having all the experiences from other countries, it will be beneficial to gain this experience, and that we can see in Sinai. And I believe we do have a privilege from all the other countries that there is no climate, the climate here in Egypt, and there is no sightseeing. Of course, there are very diverse sightseeing in Egypt, whether we're talking about seas, we're talking about the river, the Nile, we are talking about the old Egyptian monuments and all of this.
In my dreams, I would think about hotels in South Sinai, in Sharm el Sheikh, in Hurghada, in Dahab, in Nuweiba, in New Alamein city, with every, or at least one of every 5 hotels having an annexed resort or an annexed buildings ready to receive those who are in need of rehabilitation, of enjoying their treatment here in Egypt. And, you know, sir, particularly with the anti-immune diseases, with vitiligo, for example, with psoriasis, with stuff like that, when they return back home in a better condition, feeling better, even their mood is better, and knowing and telling their families, their relatives, that just spending 2 weeks in Egypt, they return back with a better mood and better health state. What I'm saying are only dreams or can be implemented on the ground.
And I always say that it starts with a dream.
Okay.
So it's a legit dream, and it's an attainable one. And for example, as you mentioned, ankylosing spondylitis, psoriatic arthritis, these are diseases that the patient actually suffers in cold weather. They suffer in Europe from the weather. We do have a very good dry weather in Siwa, for example, in Wahat. So these are very good spots that we can build a rehabilitation center, or we can build a mix of both. As you mentioned, it's not necessary to be an hotel. However, I prefer to have a specialized center which mix between an hotelierian experience and the medical management, and to have it like a chain throughout Egypt. And this will be the basis of our promotion and communication outside, that we do have the chains where you can actually get your treatment and enhance your quality of life, which is mainly for the autoimmune diseases, the main aspects we are seeking,
Amen to
a
that.
better quality of life.
And sir, what we are talking about right now, it's not a luxury. It's not something which we can say, oh, only la crème de la crème can
Yeah.
enjoy that. Every patient, not every patient, every person who is suffering something like that should be treated like that. If you agree with me on this.
We look at the market from pure financial way. We do have a lot of target segment who are actually capable of spending money on their treatments out of their pockets, not under insurance, and it will be cheaper for them if they know to come to Egypt. We need just the word of mouth. We need just to tell them that it is cost effective. You can come to Egypt, you can get your treatment. We need to make sure that we have the whole story at our side completed, from medical resources, from medications, from infrastructure, from IT, from human resources, from logistics. Once it's completed, we need it to be heavily communicated, because that the dream can easily come to life. Because, for example, an American citizen to go make any intervention at his dentist, surgical intervention as a dentist, it will be cheaper for him to come to Egypt.
Yes.
And do all the dental surgery, even for cosmetic dental surgery, and then spend like 1 week or 2 weeks in Egypt for sightseeing and return back. It will be cheaper than just going around the block for his dentist. So the target segment is there. The money is actually sitting there. We need just to have better communication, good PR campaigns, and it will be easily attained, I believe, by 2030. And the Congress, we were actually talking a lot about the 2030 vision, by completing the universal health insurance, and by the same time we complete the end-to-end journey, because it's not easy. Egypt is currently building the end-to-end, but it needs a lot. It's not a 1 year plan, it's not 2 year plan. It will take years, and we started phases from it, and the phases will continue. It's not just plug and play.
Yep, sure.
We need to build it step by
Sustainability.
step. Yes, exactly.
Sir, I'm also biased when it comes to our professors, when it comes to our doctors, because they proved.
All of us, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
who need to talk much about Dr. Magdi Yaoub? Who need to talk much about Dr. Hisham Ashur, the Magdi Yaoub of gynecology of Germany? Who need to talk about those
correct.
very, not only famous,
Eminence, yeah.
eminent, and when they come here for just a visit, for just a week or two, you would find thousands of people eager to see them. How we can benefit from those names and those professors who are proving a day after the other that the quality of learning, the quality of their experience is incomparable.
Yes, I totally agree, and I'm biased, and I have source documents and a source of proof for this bias, because when we go to Europe, I used to live there for quite some time, and when you ask any citizen in Germany, for example, or in the UK, and they would say, if I'm going to a hospital, I would try to seek an Egyptian doctor, Egyptian or Iraqi, or then Indian and Pakistani. They do have it categorized, all the citizens, and they do prefer the Egyptian doctor, because they say they do have massive experience. They see a lot of patients at their country, and they come to our country trained. They do have, they call it a sixth sense, I call it experience. For example, a resident physician here will see per day more than 200 or 250 patients. In UK, the resident will see 10 or 15. So they do have massive experience till they actually travel. And we have a lot of eminent names. It will be easier for us to communicate that when you are coming to Egypt, at least you are being treated by an Egyptian physician, Egyptian dentist, Egyptian surgeon, and we do have a good record, because for surgery, for example, there is a record for surgeries. There is a percentages.
Yes,
The
sure.
WHO every year, they take the success rate of all the surgeries from all the countries and they compare it. And all of the time, we are from the top 30% in terms of success rate for example, for transplantation, which is a very complicated surgery. However, it's done daily in Egypt, and the success rate of kidney transplantation is more than 95%.
Mansoura.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Mansoura Center. And even if we're talking about liver transplantation, again, the success rate is very high compared to any country worldwide. So saying
We are
just
compared here to the European continent.
exactly, yeah.
We reached 1,000 surgical operation transplantation here in Egypt, and only 1,000 and something in whole Europe in the
Yes.
very same period of time. But to market the marketing for this, the propaganda, to tell the tourism or the travel agencies that they can focus on that and they should play their role on that, and this strategic, I call it strategic partnership between the public and private sector,
Yes.
and the coordination among all different state authorities. I think only with this we can achieve success on the ground.
It's an integrated one. We cannot reach the plan of 2030 for medical tourism with only having experts in terms of medical professions. We cannot achieve it with only communication. We need an integrated plan. And that was actually the two-day conference communication all the time. And it
Yeah.
was the recommendation. We do have it from communication marketing, but it must be on a ground of a solid basis. So we need as well to have what I was calling resources, from human resources, IT resources, and from financial resources. We need the hospitality industry to be integrating with the healthcare.
Yeah.
We need Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry of
The human
Trade.
touch here.
Yes,
Training is very important.
it's crucial.
And crucial, and to start from where others ended,
Yeah.
and to have this kind of exchanging experiences with those who started earlier than us. How we can achieve that on the ground? I mean, for example, you would find many private sector companies, multinational, you name it, having this way to propagate for themselves by training those who are going to be responsible for other projects. And with this, it's going to be a win-win situation. When I know that this person or this new entrepreneur was a trainee, for example, or having his trainees in this very specific company, it was such a successful story, so it's going to be all the time a step forward. True?
Yes, true, and what you are actually mentioning is the Dubai way, Dubai experience. Headhunting, you're just gonna go and headhunt the experts from other countries, and you're gonna build it top down.
Yeah.
We do have a privilege even over that. We do have what it takes to have the resources ready, but we need the adequate integration between the hospitality training and the medical training. So we do have an experts in medical, and we do have experts in tourism. The hotelier medical tourism is different. We need to integrate both, and it's not easy. We need to, for example, train the nurse that she's not treating a normal patient.
Yeah.
He's living an experience. So the program must include some experiences for sightseeing, for wellness, for better quality of life, for even psychological positive impact. Plus,
You're reading my mind. The psychological side of the
Yeah.
coin was my coming. It's not a question. Was my coming side of the coin,
Yeah.
because without this, I don't think that we can achieve anything. If someone is living such in a happy mood and
Yeah.
knowing well that he or she, of course, is going to enjoy what he is doing, this is a different story.
yeah, it's
A
an
rehabilitation institute, a rehabilitation townhouse. And this is going to be part and parcel of their journey to Egypt. Even if it is about just feeling bad, some tensions, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Instead of going to Switzerland or Sweden, come to Egypt.
Yes, and it got two sides. The first is complete your treatment with a rehabilitation. So after you've done your surgery, continue like 2 weeks or 3 weeks in Egypt for a program and for a better quality of life. And second is just for health and wellness. For health and wellness, we're totally equipped for that. And currently, and one of the main aspects, and it's very important that you ask this question, because quality of life currently is one of the endpoints of all the clinical trials. So most of the clinical trials currently, they measure the quality of life of patients, and they say that even medications will enhance quality of life. It will enhance the medical endpoints and the medical outcome. The patient will even feel less symptoms if he is actually living a better life or a good quality of life. So health and wellness, it's easy. We do have a lot of dry places, a lot of wells. We got the health and wellness sites and centers. However, not integrated all of them in one plan. That's actually the plan of integration as well. I will return back to the same jargon. And the second one is for rehabilitation. We need to have a specialized center. As you mentioned in the start, we need to have a specialized centers for rehab. It's not only focusing on the rehab from physiological aspect, also from psychological aspect.
Yeah.
We need to take care from patients, and we need to understand that even if we are all the time kidding that Egyptians are a little bit down or a little bit depressed, but no, we are not suffering from a high percentage of depression or a bad mood. Like, for example, in Switzerland, as you mentioned, Switzerland, and as Scandinavians and Europe, they suffer from a lot from cold weather, and from Canada, like Canada as well. So the sun,
Rate of committing suiciders
yeah,
there.
it's tremendous. And if you look at Egypt, only because we do have a sunny weather, only the sunny weather, it will make their mood better. We can promote that. It's all from a keyword you mentioned, which is a PR. Better PR, better communication. We do have all what it takes to lead medical tourism worldwide. All the other countries, they don't have actually a lot of health and wellness sites. They don't have sightseeings like in Egypt, for example. However, they do have the industry. If we can merge the expertise, headhunting some experts, and with the infrastructure that we already are blessed with, we can reach it easily to be the top country in medical tourism.
If you can arrange, in your opinion, of course, some of the cities, starting with South Sinai, for example, or South Sinai is going to be only, or I mean Sharm el-Sheikh or cities in South Sinai are going to be only some of the many cities we should focus on in the very same time, I mean hand in hand.
Yes, it's as mentioned by the Prime Minister and the Minister of Health, Dr. Khaled Abdel Ghaffar. We always start with a pilot city. Even like when we started the medical insurance and the Universal Health Insurance Organization, the new one, we make a site which is a center of excellence. We start with it. We learn from our actually challenges there. We complete the picture, we enhance it, then we cascade to another city. In my opinion, south of Sinai and Hurghada, for example, they are ready for that. They do have the Atolarian experience and privilege, and easily we can combine with the healthcare and a medical one. We do have Al-Wahat, like Siwa, and it's a perfect spot for health and wellness. It's a dry weather, especially for the autoimmune dermatological diseases, for example. And if we are
And
talking
all
about
those suffering from respiratory issues.
Respiratory issues as well, yes.
Asthma, stuff like that. Yeah, amen to that.
The dry weather will always work.
Sure.
It's better for dermatological illness, it's better for respiratory illness, it's better even for better sight, for better relief of the skin itself, and for the quality of life.
Sir, when it comes to India, for example, meditation, yoga, spirit, sports, stuff like that, you would find that so many people are traveling to India, particularly for this reason. And you would find the case totally different when they come to the white desert in Egypt, for example, and when they spend just a few nights in our white desert, they would feel that they are just born again.
Reborn,
reborn.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have things which we considered before as, oh, okay, they are nice, they're okay. But with those guests we have, when they speak about them, we feel astonished how much they enjoyed their time and they want to return back in, and even they don't want to leave.
Yes, there is a very nice story about the camps in Fayoum. It was started by tourists who came to Fayoum, to the desert, and he never left.
Yep.
Still there.
Yeah.
So for years and years, he built the camp, and all the examples you are hearing from the case studies and all the testimonials, they are actually speaking that, yes, revitalizing, it's reborn. It's like a new experience. You put all your troubles aside. So the experience of the desert, we do have a very good desert tourism. We're not focusing that much on desert tourism like, for example, the Arab countries. But we do have the color canyon, we do have the white desert, we do have the black desert. We do have a lot of sites which got a positive vibes, positive energy even on anyone who went there. Even personally, I feel very positive visiting the Fayoum desert, for example, the white desert, the colored canyon. It's very beautiful. And again, I will be back to the same term, which is the right communication, right PR, and the right infrastructure to have health and wellness sites at these places, good camps that are promoted, as you mentioned exactly, from meditation perspective, from spiritual perspective. We can complete the story. We mentioned in just 15 minutes, we mentioned health and wellness, we mentioned psychological impact, we mentioned dermatological improvement, we mentioned surgeries, we mentioned tourism for tourism, we mentioned again as well all the autoimmune diseases. So a lot of aspects, you name it, you will find it in Egypt. It can be easily fulfilled.
Plastic surgery.
Yeah.
This is another story. And when I was asking you about cities, I hoped that you were going to mention Aswan and Luxor, for example.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
yes.
when it comes to our the old Egyptians, and when we know that they were the first to have an operation room and had to have an operation table and to use the intestines of the cats as medical threads and stuff like that, this is in itself is such a way to propagate for our medical tourism and to know well that we are the our ancestors, we are the heirs, the heirs, or those genius people who made it thousands of years ago, and we are going to be again the gift to humanity.
Yes, I totally agree. I second that. And we do have a lot of things about Aswan, for example. We start with what you were just mentioning about our ancestors and the old Egyptian, even protocols in medicine and medical interventions. And we do have the dry weather.
The herbs.
Yeah, herbal.
The drinks.
Yes. Everything there.
Everything there.
It boosts your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a perfect spot. It's a good winter destination. So we can actually, if it's an integrated plan, we can have a winter cities.
It is an integrated plan.
Yeah, summer one.
Yeah.
And we do have a promotion for winter season. We do have another promotion for summer season. And we do have another one for the seaside, another one for North Coast, for the Red Sea, another one for the Wahat, for example, for Siwa and for the dry places and health and wellness. We do have another one for the waiting list for interventions. We can complete the picture. As I was saying, there's anything you name it will be found in Egypt.
So we do have high season all over the year.
Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, I really enjoyed our discussion.
Likewise.
And inshallah, I'm going to leave you with a promise to see you again in more episodes of our program.
Inshallah, will be my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. We were very much delighted and honored to have with us Dr. Islam Anan, lecturer of health policy and health economics. Thank you, sir, once again. And now I'm going to leave you with the most important economic events which took place in the past 7 days. Stay tuned on Nile TV International always for more updates, and for more details, please log on to www.nileinternational.net. Many thanks for watching. With all my love, this was Nurmeen Abdurrahman.